The history of bananas, the fruit that conquered the world. Today, bananas are cheap, convenient, and almost boring. You peel one, eat it in a few bites, and throw away the skin. No knife, no plate, and no instruction manual required. But the banana in your kitchen is the result of thousands of years of farming, global trade, industrial agriculture, and one enormous biological disaster. And here is the first surprise. Bananas do not actually grow on trees. The banana plant is technically a giant herb. It only looks like a tree because its tightly packed leaves form a thick, tree-like stem. The story begins thousands of years ago in Southeast Asia and the Western Pacific, especially New Guinea. Wild bananas looked very different from the soft fruit we eat today. Their flesh contained many large, hard seeds. Eating one would have felt less like enjoying a snack and more like chewing fruit-flavored gravel. Early farmers discovered unusual banana plants that produced softer fruit with fewer seeds. They selected the best plants and grew them again. Over many generations, people developed bananas that were sweet, fleshy, and almost completely seedless. There was only one problem. A seedless banana could not reproduce normally. Instead of planting seeds, farmers grew new banana plants from shoots taken from existing plants. This meant that many cultivated bananas were essentially copies or clones of older plants. As people migrated and traded, bananas traveled across Asia and into Africa. In many tropical regions, bananas and plantains became much more than a sweet snack. They became important staple foods. They could be boiled, fried, roasted, or turned into flour and drinks. For millions of people, bananas were closer to potatoes or rice than dessert. Bananas later reached the Americas, where the warm and humid climate allowed plantations to expand. However, selling bananas to distant countries was difficult. A ripe banana bruises easily and spoils quickly. Shipping one across an ocean was basically a race against brown spots. During the 19th and early 20th centuries, expanding plantation networks, railways, and faster ships helped transform bananas. Large companies built enormous plantations across Central America and connected them to ports with railways and other infrastructure. Soon, bananas were being promoted as a cheap, healthy, and convenient food. But the banana people ate at that time was not the banana most of us eat today. The dominant export variety was called the Gros Michel, also known as Big Mike. It was large, sweet, and tough enough to survive long journeys without becoming banana soup inside the shipping box. Banana companies planted enormous fields of Gros Michel plants. Because these plants were clones, they were genetically very similar. For businesses, this was wonderfully efficient. For disease, it was an all-you-can-eat buffet. A soil-dwelling fungus caused a disease known as Panama disease. It prevented them from transporting water properly. Because Gros Michel plantations had very little genetic diversity, the disease spread through them with devastating speed. By the middle of the 20th century, Panama disease had destroyed huge areas of Gros Michel production. The banana industry desperately needed a replacement. It chose the Cavendish. The Cavendish was selected because it resisted the strain of Panama disease that was destroying the Gros Michel. Companies replanted their farms, redesigned their packaging, and convinced consumers to accept a different banana. By the 1960s, the Cavendish had become the new supermarket standard. That is probably the banana sitting in your kitchen today. But history may be repeating itself. Cavendish bananas are also produced as clones. Commercial plantations again contain very little genetic diversity. a newer strain can infect Cavendish plants. The modern banana is therefore both a triumph and a warning. Humans transformed a hard, seedy wild fruit into a soft, sweet, portable snack. We carried it across continents and built a global industry around it. But by depending heavily on a single cloned variety, we also made the world's banana supply vulnerable. So the next time you peel a banana, remember, you are not just eating a piece of fruit. You are eating thousands of years of farming, migration, technology, business, and one very risky experiment in cloning. The banana conquered the world. Now the challenge is making sure it survives.